Apple's biggest smartphone rival, Samsung, has just announced its latest flagship devices, and as a longtime iPhone user, I have to admit there are a few features that look really impressive. We'll be doing full detailed comparisons once the phones hit the market, but for the time being, let's take a closer look at what Samsung is offering and how they stack up to the latest iPhones. Their lineup now looks similar to Apple's latest offerings with three mainstream devices: the standard Galaxy S10, a larger S10 Plus model, and a budget-oriented Galaxy S10e. Clearly targeting the iPhone XR and priced at, you guessed it, $750, which we'll talk about in just a bit. They also announced the $1,980 Galaxy Fold, but we'll save that for another video. The S10 and S10 Plus come in at $100 less than Apple's competing devices, but packing a lot of new tech. The 6.1-inch S10 has a larger display than the 5.8-inch XS, but the Plus model's 6.4-inch is smaller than Apple's 6.5-inch XS Max. As usual, they are high-resolution OLED displays, but this time with the HDR10 Plus certification, which is the first spec that gives me a little bit of envy. Apple's iPhone XS Max has been measured to put out just under 700 nits of brightness, but the S10s are rated up to a shocking 1,200 nits of brightness, so you'll have no problem using it in direct sunlight, and this is what allows for the HDR10 Plus rating. The display takes up most of the front with a chin larger than the iPhone's, but one thing that's missing compared to most smartphone companies is the lack of a notch. Instead, Samsung skipped that trend and opted instead for camera cutouts. Let us know if you prefer a notch or a cutout in the comment section below. Personally, I think it looks quite nice compared to the iPhone's notch, but the teardrop style from the OnePlus 6T is the best compromise. Inside of these cutouts, we have a 10 megapixel shooter in the S10 capable of shooting 4K video, with the S10 Plus adding a wide-angle 8 megapixel camera for depth sensing. The iPhone XS and XS Max feature a 7 megapixel shooter limited to 1080p at 60 frames per second. On the rear of the S10 Plus, instead of offering two 12 megapixel cameras, a standard and a portrait lens, we now have a triple camera setup, two 12 megapixel shooters, and an additional 16 megapixel ultra-wide camera. The photos shown by Samsung look admittedly great, and a wide-angle lens is something I've wanted from Apple for a while and is rumored to come in Apple's next flagship iPhone. As with previous Samsungs, the standard lens has dual apertures, which helped with low-light photography when we compared it to the iPhone XS in our camera comparison. Two areas the iPhone XS trumped the Note 9 was with video stabilization and dynamic range. Samsung's now punching back with their super steady video mode and with high dynamic range recording. The latest iPhones would combine alternate video frames if you're shooting at 24 or 30 frames per second to improve dynamic range, but the video file was still SDR, whereas the S10 will save the file in HDR, so it's ready to upload and view in full HDR for compatible displays. Unlike Apple's Face ID, Samsung is doubling down on fingerprint authentication with its new under-display ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. Unlike the OnePlus 6T, which is the first mass-market phone to bring this kind of tech to the US, the S10 doesn't require the display to be on or to shine a bright light since it isn't an optical sensor. This also means that it will unlock the phone faster. Personally, I really enjoy Face ID, which doesn't require you to place a finger in a certain spot and can be used for Apple Pay and Safari autofill basically automatically. Let us know what you prefer in the comment section below. As for the ports, we have USB-C along with a headphone jack that still allows for an IP68 water resistance rating, which may be one of the reasons Apple removed theirs. On the inside, the S10 has a 3400 mAh battery compared to 2658 on the iPhone XS. The S10 Plus has a massive 4100 mAh battery compared to 3317 mAh in the XS Max. Now iOS is more power efficient than Android, but with batteries that much larger, the S10 devices will definitely have the edge in battery life. One new sweet trick is the ability to wirelessly charge other devices, such as the new Galaxy Buds. This is also a feature rumored for the next iPhone. At the heart of this new phone, we have the new 7nm Snapdragon 855 for the US market. Early benchmarks show Geekbench 4 scores of around 3500 single-core and 11200 multi-core. These are top-notch scores, but they still don't beat the half-a-year-old iPhone XS, which has a slightly higher multi-core score of around 11450 and a much higher single-core score of 4800. On the graphics side, GFX Bench Manhattan off-screen test results in a high score of 102 frames per second, over 20% faster than the Note 9, but not enough to beat the iPhone XS's A12 Bionic chip's 122 frames per second. They also included an NPU, or Neural Processing Unit, a nod to Apple's Neural Engine. As for RAM, we have much more than the iPhone XS's 4GB, starting with 8GB on the lower price models and jumping all the way up to 12GB if you buy the 1TB model. This is good news for Android since the OS requires more RAM to stay smooth and keep background apps open compared to iPhone with iOS. Storage on the S10 start at 128GB. A few more differences between the XS and S10 is the latest Wi-Fi 6 and 2 gigabits per second LTE, offering faster connection speeds if your service provider can provide it. Samsung is still offering a micro SD card slot, which would be a welcome addition that will likely never get in an iPhone. Now let's take a second to talk about the iPhone XR's new rival, the S10e. Priced at the same $750, glancing at the front, it even looks like the iPhone XR except without the notch. The display size matches the XS of 5.8 inches but is smaller than the XR's 6.1 inches while being practically the same size. One major difference is the display tech. Apple chose an LCD for cost savings, but Samsung stuck to their OLED displays, and this one doesn't disappoint with the same HDR10 Plus ultra bright panel that's in the S10. This was our biggest disappointment with the XR, so it's impressive that Samsung stuck with an OLED for their more budget price model. Just like the XR, the S10e has less RAM than the flagship, but it's still twice as much as the iPhone equivalent, offering 6GB versus 3GB on the XR. This doubling goes along to storage as well, with the S10e having 128GB standard compared to 64GB. And if you move up to 512GB of storage, the RAM will also bump up to 8GB. Another similarity with Apple's offering, Samsung is putting the same high-end chip on their $750 phone. On the back, neither the iPhone XR or Galaxy S10e have a dedicated telephoto lens, but the Samsung does have two cameras, the second being a 16-megapixel ultra-wide shooter. Battery-wise, the S10e leads with a slightly larger 3100 mAh battery versus 2942 mAh, but thanks to iPhone's superior power management, the iPhone XR should still lead in real-world battery life. Overall, we are quite impressed with Samsung's latest flagships. Not only do we have new technology packed in, but also at a lower price than Apple's offering, especially when you compare base storage amounts. Let us know what you think about the new Galaxy S10 phones and how they compare with the iPhones in the comments section below. We can't wait to get our hands on these new devices and do our usual full suite of comparison videos. Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss out on those videos. If you enjoyed this video, like it and hit that subscribe button. Also, check out our price guide, which makes it extremely easy to find the best deals on Apple products updated daily. Be sure to follow us on social media and we'll see you in the next video.